What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to TRU RAIDER Podcast, and this is the instant reaction. I'm actually live right now. We just did the watch party, and the Raiders have beaten the Baltimore Ravens 26-23. I cannot express to you guys how hyped I am right now. Actually, I'm trying to turn down the volume on the TV. I am so hyped right now. I am so excited. This was such a nail-biter of the game, man. I told you guys coming into this game that it was not going to be an upset and that it was going to be close, right? That we were not going to have a game where we got blown out, right? I knew it was going to be a close game, and there were times in this game where I thought that maybe we were not in it, right? There were several times where we were trailing by 10 points, and, there was a point where Robert Spillane made an interception. We went back down the field and put points on the board. So excited, you guys, right now. I'm at a loss for words. I want to go over our stat lines real quick, man. I'm going to talk about team stats, right? Because the team stats, they improved highly in that fourth quarter, right? We had Las Vegas Raiders total yards 261. The Baltimore Ravens had total yards of 384. We had 233 passing yards, and so did the Baltimore Ravens. Rushing yards, we only had 28 rushing yards in this game, and the Baltimore Ravens had 151. Our third down efficiency was 4 for 12. Theirs was 3 for 11. I mean, we allowed 5 sacks, right? There was a lot of things that didn't go our way in this game, man, and I'm really excited to tell you guys that what we watched in that fourth quarter was Gardner Minshew marched the ball downfield, made some really good throws to Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. We had some really good play going on, man. I got people blowing up my phone, like, no way, you guys snuck one in. Yeah, we sure did, right? So I'm going to hit the player stats right now. Gardner Minshew completed 30 out of 38 attempts. That's pretty good. That is a good percentage. Now, on that, he only had 276 yards, which is not terrible, right? But with that many completed passes, we had way too many checkdowns, way too many short throws, a lot of throws behind the line of scrimmage. I did not like that. Then we got Gardner Minshew had 1 touchdown passing and 1 interception. That interception, man, I thought that was going to cost us the game, honestly, because it was a throw to Harrison Bryant. Harrison Bryant had a step on his defender, and it would have been completed, but Gardner Minshew threw it like 10 yards too short. Maybe it was only 5, but it looked awful, man. I did not like the looks of that. Now we got Zamir White had 9 carries for a total of 24 yards. That is disgusting, you guys. Averaging 2.7. I'm starting to wonder if Zamir White is that guy or not, man. But Alexander Madison didn't really do better. He had 4 carries for 1 yard. 4 carries for 1 yard, and that 1 yard, touchdown. Gardner Minshew, man. Let's see. Devontae Adams, 9 receptions for 110 yards and 1 touchdown. Brock Bowers, the rookie tight end, Brock Bowers, had 9 receptions for 98 yards. Jacoby Myers had 4 receptions for 29 yards. Now, let's go over to our defense real quick because Robert Spillane had 10 tackles and 1 interception. Robert Spillane, man, is such a good signing. I'm actually really amazed at how well Robert Spillane has been. Like, that's just been an amazing signing for us. I'm so happy that we were able to pick up Robert Spillane. Max Crosby had 5 tackles, 2 sacks. I think 4 of those tackles were for loss, and he had a pass breakup. Divine Diablo had 5 tackles in this game. And let me see. I'm not being able to get the stat lines that I want, man. I'm going to have to look this up later. But, we had some very good plays by Jack Jones. He didn't get any interceptions, but he definitely was breaking up plays. Jacorian Bennett had some big pass breakups. I got to say, the big takeaways of today's game. first half, we're being able to stop the run. Now, what we saw in this game was that against the Chargers and against the Ravens, in the second half, we're giving up a lot of rushing yards. Let's see, I don't have the stuff to break it down by half, but in the first half, Derrick Henry only had 5 rushing yards. In the second half, he had like 80. So, and don't quote me on that, right? This is live reaction. But he had more like 80 yards rushing in the second half. And that's nasty, man. We're getting that stop early on, and then later on in the game, we are not being able to stop it appropriately, man. And I don't like how that looks. I do not like how that looks. What a great comeback by this Raiders team, man. So we let way too many rushing yards. You know, the passing yards that they got against us, you know, there was a lot of times where, you know, Flowers was left open, Andrews was left open, and they got big gains, right? But those weren't the things that were killing us. What was killing us was the running game, you know. And as the week goes on and we get more film on, you know, what's going on, I'll get with you guys and we'll talk about, you know, where we really saw those gaps happen in the running game. I mean, the Ravens are a great rushing team. They got Lamar Jackson, they got Derrick Henry, and one of the things that I did see that we did was we slowed down Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson was 21 of 34 with 248 yards, a touchdown and interception. That means that Gardner Minshew had a better game than Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson had 5 carries for 35 yards. What was the big one that I said? We need to keep Lamar Jackson under 60 yards rushing, and he only got 35. Beautiful. So Derrick Henry had 18 carries for 84 yards, averaging 4.7, and he had 1 rushing touchdown. So that was really the big problem that we had with our game. But in the receiving game, their top receiver was Zay Flowers, had 7 receptions for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. And then their second receiver only had 52 yards. So we did a good job of stopping them in the passing game, and we stopped Lamar Jackson from running the ball down our throats. What we did not stop was Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry, right? And I know that the Chiefs really put a stop to him. It was week 1. And so, of course, it's not going to look as good, right? He's had some time to warm up, but also the Chargers ran the ball down our throats, right? And we really pause if necessary. But really, what I saw was that if we get critical stops on the run, especially in that second half, we have the ability to drive the ball downfield and make some plays. Now, early on, Cody Whitehair got pulled out of the game, and they put in Andres Pete. And Andres Pete was only in for like 1 or 2 drives. And then, no, maybe it was actually the majority of the first half. Then the second half we came in, and all of a sudden they put in Cody Whitehair again. And I'm not really sure what happened there and why. I don't like Cody Whitehair being on the offensive line. Now, one of the things that I do recognize is that, you know, the way that we started was a lot of checkdowns, a lot of short throws, and we just could not get the running game going the whole game. Most of our rushing yards were in the fourth quarter when we were trying to drain the clock. And then when we needed to get the ball downfield, right, all of a sudden Gardner Minshew's having the ability to make these big throws to Devontae Adams, to Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers got in the mix. And that's the kind of game that Gardner Minshew plays well. Our offensive line really showed up during that point of the game. They did allow 1 sack. They allowed 1 sack in that last push, but it didn't shake him. We were able to push forward and get those big-time throws down the field. Now, I do want to point out that there was one point in the game where Gardner Minshew threw that really bad interception, right? And you could tell he was shook. Max Crosby grabbed him on the sideline and pulled him up, and he is giving him a pep talk, man. He's hitting him in the chest, and you could just tell he's saying, "We still believe in you, man. You got this," you know. And it's like it was amazing to see the confidence in Minshew just kind of burst up from there. And Minshew really played good football after the fact. He didn't let that shake him, and that's one of those things, man, where there were some of these plays where I really feel like having Gardner Minshew was the reason for success on the play. One that I really want to point out was that touchdown pass to Devontae Adams, man. We're on the 1 yard line. They had just picked up pass interference in the end zone to Devontae Adams, and we are able to get up to the 1 yard line. And it's everybody's saying it's going to be a run. We got Zamir White, Michael Mayer lines up to block, and I was fooled, man. The camera was fooled. Gardner Minshew sold that handoff so good, brought it back, made that beautiful throw to Devontae Adams, man. Touchdown. Now, right now, I'm going to say the winners of today's game. The winners of today's game, I'm going to say Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew threw 30 for 38, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He showed up when he really needed to. He took like 5 sacks. Threw that bad interception and still did not let it shake him. He showed up when we needed him. So I'm saying Gardner Minshew is the winner of today's game. I'm also going to say Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers for sure winners of today's game. And then defensive side of the ball, I'm going to say Robert Spillane and Max Crosby. These are the 5 players I would say are the winners of today's game. They did amazing. Very, very happy with all these players. If I had to say losers of today's game, Zamir White, 9 carries for 24 yards is despicable, and I am not happy with it. Another loser of today's game is our entire offensive line. Now, don't get me wrong. They had some moments where they really showed up, especially in that final drive where we drove the ball down the field and got the touchdown, right? Very happy with that. But overall, giving up 5 sacks and the fact that we only had a total of 27 rushing yards. You gotta if we get the running game going, right, and we have a really good running game, you got to give the offensive line credit. So when we have a really bad running game, you also got to give them credit. Another loser of today's game, Madison. Madison, even though he scored a touchdown, he has 4 carries for 1 yard. It's not very good. I'm not really happy with what that looked like. We didn't get any deep balls to Trey Tucker, and I'm upset about that. Michael Mayer only had 1 reception for 11 yards. Another loser of today's game is Divine Diablo, man. Divine Diablo is – there's too many plays already in 2 games that I'm seeing him giving up big runs. He's not being able to play the run very well, and we need that. In preseason, Amari Gaynor, I think he had 13 tackles in one game. It was something like that, like 12 or 13 tackles in one game. And yes, it's preseason, but we're not seeing that kind of production out of Diablo ever. So I would like to see Amari Gaynor step into that role. Another one that I want to say is I didn't like how Trayvon Merrick looked, man. Trayvon Merrick, he was around a lot of plays that we gave up big yards. But that's all I got for that right now, man. I'm so excited. Raiders pull off an upset win against the Ravens, 26-23. You guys, I am so excited. Raiders with the W, man. Let's go. So check me out. I'll be on the Talk About Raiders Tuesday live, and I will see you guys next week.